Bienvenidos a nuestro canal. Hoy les traemos fragmentos impactantes de Mosab Hassan Yousef, conocido como el Hijo de HAMÁS, un valiente defensor de la verdad y ex miembro de Hamas que ha dejado todo atrás para denunciar el engaño que rodea a la causa palestina. Sus palabras son un llamado urgente a abrir los ojos y entender lo que está realmente en juego. Antes de sumergirnos en este vídeo, te invitamos a suscribirte a nuestro canal para no perderte ninguno de nuestros vídeos. Además, estamos emocionados de anunciar el lanzamiento de nuestra tienda de ropa cristiana. Si buscas un regalo para un ser querido, no dudes en echarle un vistazo. Tu apoyo hace posible que continuemos compartiendo este mensaje. Ahora, veamos en este primer clip cómo Mosab Hassan Yousef enfrenta a un defensor de la causa palestina y expone la hipocresía detrás de los mantras que atacan a Israel. ¿Cómo puede hablarse de limpieza étnica cuando en el único Estado judío viven más de 2 millones de árabes con los mismos derechos que cualquier ciudadano? Escuchemos cómo desmonta esta narrativa falsa.
So you say that you have evidence. How can you explain the 2 million Arabs who live in Israel? And if there was ethnic cleansing, where did they come from?
Well,
you got your opportunity. And do you think that the ethnic cleansing started on October 7th? You know, what was prior to that? Israel allowed the Gazans to come work into Israel, gave them job opportunity in the tens of thousands, and gave them all the rights of any manpower in the country. And that includes the West Bank. We have 2 million Gazans, but also we have 3.5 million West Bankers. And do you think Israel needed October 7th to happen so they can start the process of ethnic cleansing through bombing the shit out of people in Gaza? If there was an ethnic cleansing, it would have taken place over 70 years, and today you wouldn't find any Arab in the region. The ethnic cleansing actually took place in the Arab countries. Show me how many Jewish people are in the West Bank or in Gaza. Show me how many Arabs are in any Jewish in the Arab countries.
Desde el corazón de Europa, el partido español Vox invitó a Mosab Hassan Yousef a hablar en el Parlamento Europeo. Como hijo de un cofundador de Hamas, Mosab revela las verdades ocultas tras la ideología islamista y las mentiras de la causa palestina. Su advertencia resuena fuerte. Hoy es Palestina, mañana podría ser Andalucía. ¿Quieres escuchar la conferencia completa doblada al español? Dínoslo en los comentarios.
Many people want to decide on behalf of the children in the Middle East without listening to the children, without listening to a child of that conflict. It's not important to have someone who have lived it, to provide first-hand experience and information, so when they make their decisions on our behalf, on behalf of the children in the Middle East, they don't make mistake. For example, by funding criminals for decades from the public money that has been advancing terrorism and chaos that brought us to this low point of destruction and barbarism. And of course, none of them would take responsibility. They want to sit in comfort and decide on behalf of this generation and the next generations. It's not important for them to come and take a seat for half an hour and listen. As long as Allah is a legitimate authority, and as long as Allah wants the Jews killed, then there are going to be a bunch of people out there going after the Jewish people. And if we, as Christians, Buddhists, Hindus, atheists, the rest of the world, if we don't get united, realizing that we have a religious majority that has been determined to annihilate a religious minority, if we don't understand that this is the actual situation, then they will take advantage of all of us. If we allow them to kill the Jewish people today, tomorrow they will have another problem. Maybe the next time it's not Palestine, it could be Andalusia. Because also Andalusia is a Muslim land according to Islamic law, and the Muslims are required to fight until they liberate this Islamic territory. Every mosque around the world is an Islamic land. And I dare you to try to shut down one mosque in Europe, functioning as the sword of Allah on earth to punish the Jewish people and all the non-Muslims who don't submit to Islam. This is the Islamic law. And all those who try to sell the West a peaceful version of Islam, they are liars and they are lying. And their claim is baseless. Okay, this is too controversial, and I did not come here to say things about Islam, but this is very important to understand as a foundation of this conflict. Because if we really want to find a solution, then we need to understand the dimensions of the conflict. And the ideological dimension of this conflict is the most significant one, in my humble opinion. This is how I was conditioned as a Muslim, then as a Palestinian, and I think both identities are false. They stole our individuality as children. We were born free, children of earth, children of the divine. And they gave us false identity. They said, you're a Palestinian now. Fight for this identity. It's so important to you. And who created this? A con artist from Egypt, born in Egypt, with an Egypt accent. His name Yasser Arafat. A global terrorist who wanted to globalize the Intifada and hijack commercial airplanes and blow up athletes at Munich Olympics, and we can go on and on of the Palestinian global terrorism as a mean for political and financial gain. He never been there. No evidence. With the Egyptian birth certificate. And this is the father of the Palestinian revolution, the most corrupt revolution on earth that does not have concern towards the Arab or the Jewish children in that region. Please notice, my ethnicity is not Palestinian. We are Arabs of Judea and Samaria.
En el próximo video, Mosab denuncia cómo Hamas utiliza a los más inocentes como piezas en su macabro juego. Sus palabras son contundentes.
Got money in return for the children death, close to $1 billion. This is $1 million a head. This is their game. They want the children to die. You think somebody like Sinwar did not realize that Israel is going to come to Gaza strong? This is why he's putting booby traps all over the Gaza Strip so the children can die. And when the children die, he gets money in return. And the more you give them money, the more violent they become. They started 20 years ago, suicide bombing attacks. Today they're committing a genocide on October 7, and they are using the Gazans as human shields. And instead of understanding the game and cutting the aid, don't give them more money. What we're doing, we're just going around like idiots saying free, free Palestine.
Finalmente, Mosab aborda una de las mayores mentiras de la historia moderna, que Palestina existió como país antes de ser ocupado.
To say that there was a Palestine as a country and it has been occupied is the biggest lie in our modern history. I don't care if the United Nations validate it or not. There was no such thing as Palestine. It never existed as a political entity or as a sovereign state. It was nothing but a colonial entity created by the British from 1922 to 1948. A colonial entity. Jews, Arabs, Druze, Christians, and many other ethnic groups, all of them were called Palestinians according to the British mandate for Palestine. It was not a sovereign Arab state. So for the Palestinians to come and claim a colonial entity as their national identity and have a monopoly over that colonial entity that lasted approximately 25 years is absurdity. And for the international community to build on the top of that and consider that Palestine, a colonial entity, became occupied by the indigenous of the land. It's insanity. So you can go on and study for the next 10, 20 years international law. It doesn't matter. It's nonsense. There was no Palestine. And this is the truth that we need to bring to people. Because what people don't realize, false narrative eventually lead to violence. All these allegations of genocide, of ethnic cleansing, of colonialism, of occupation, this what brought us here. This is what has been creating the victim mindset, the victim narrative that is entitled for revenge. And the more we empower this narrative, this falsehood, the more there's going to be violence, because now we see how angry the people, everybody is projecting their anger on the situation, and I and my children and my brothers back home, everybody has to pay the price on behalf of their angry cause. And we are not willing to do this. We are not Palestinians. We are Arabs. This is our ethnicity. Palestinian identity is a made-up thing. Does not represent us, and we are tired of it, and we don't want it. Hamas are invaders. This is the Muslim Brotherhood ideology. They invaded our territory. They changed everything by the means of intimidation. The same way that they have been intimidating your campus and your administration, the same way they intimidate the people in the Middle East. And if you submit to them once, show them weakness once, then they are going to come back stronger and stronger. This is their strategy. So basically, we are not Palestinians. Palestine, this is not our business, not even an Arab term. It represents colonialism. And in principle, we don't have a problem with the Jewish people. We don't have a problem coexisting with the Jewish people.
Mosab Hassan Yousef ha tenido el valor de alzar la voz en contra de la narrativa dominante, revelando verdades que no todos quieren escuchar. Si quieres ver más contenido como este, no olvides suscribirte. Y recuerda, si deseas apoyar nuestro canal, visita nuestra tienda de ropa cristiana y encuentra algo especial para ti o para un ser querido. Gracias por acompañarnos y que Dios te bendiga.
Por favor, no olviden dejar sus comentarios, denle like a este vídeo y sepan que pueden seguir pendientes de toda la actualidad de nuestro Facebook, Instagram y Twitter. Para más noticias y vídeos musicales, no olvides suscribirte a este canal. Y no se olviden de activar la campana para recibir una notificación cuando publiquemos nuevo material. ¡Hasta la próxima!